tell us a little bit about your relationship to this piece and how you see it. Because for me, even right from the opening, he grabs us by the lapels and he gives us a little fake out, right?
He does. We'll talk about that in a second. But I actually got very familiar with this piece because my younger brother studied it even before I did. He's also a pianist, and he did it beautifully. And I do remember the hours that he spent working on this. Some hours that I spent working with him on it, and I got to know the piece very well. And even after hearing it a million times, I really feel like you leave with this wow kind of feeling after playing it or hearing it. It's the melodies, the way that he builds everything is just so gripping, and in a rare way, I think this is really one of the ultimate romantic piano concertos of the repertoire.
Certainly. I mean, the way he writes for the orchestra is absolutely marvelous. It's lush, it's romantic, but it really does. I mean, the solo is the primary voice. Right from the beginning, we have this kind of explosive beginning. Why don't you give us a little taste of what that sounds like? It is
Sure.
the fake out comes because it's not. It's setting us up to believe that the first movement is going to be something that it turns out is it's not. Right?
Right, exactly. And we'll get to that, but I'll play the timpani for us
Sure.
since we don't have our timpani player here. So we start with, I guess, pianissimo and the timpani and builds up to
Big
its
crescendo, yeah, a big threatening crescendo in the timpani, and then the orchestra explodes, and then it's all you. And that's the way the orchestra comes in
melody just pours out of it.
and just embraces you, right? And I would say that much of this movement is that kind of lush, much more gentle, but much more loving, romantic feeling than the opening might have suggested.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
for me, set up by the cello, the second theme is so extraordinary in that first movement. It's so beautiful, right? Why don't you
It,
give us a little taste of that?
sure. There's a string.
Yeah.
It's so, it's just so embracing, as you say.
So for me, the outer movements are the really propulsive, exciting ones. Of course, the second movement, though, is one of the most
Mhm.
beautiful things that he ever wrote.
So-
Um,
And I'm kind of jealous because the orchestra gets to start
we
with
do have we do have some
melody.
nice moments in that movement for sure. But then you do come in. You do have something to do.
I do, but do you mind if I just share the opening of the melody
Oh,
and then we'll
please,
go to
please,
the,
of
yeah,
course.
just it's so.
Hmm.
I just melt every time I hear that. And I get the best seat in the house really at the piano, getting to hear this wall of sound coming at me with such warmth.
Hmm.
And then the piano comes in after all this warm type of sound with a very nice contrast, I think. It is and this kind of sparkly.
Well, it actually is very reminiscent of Chopin. You know, I'm
Really?
reminded years and years and years ago, Arthur Rubinstein used to play this piece incredibly beautifully, and of course, he was a marvelous Chopin player too. And there is something the way that Grieg exploits the piano
Hmm.
is not
Chopin.
so far away from Chopin. I mean, that the delicacy of that the right
Yeah.
hand and the freedom of the rubato the freedom of the ebb and flow of the tempo
Yeah.
is really intoxicating. It's
It
beautiful.
is. It's really reminiscent of the second concerto, the second movement
Hmm.
of the second concerto. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we wrap it up in the third movement, right? Give us a
Yes.
taste.
So third movement kind of we get into a more dancey sort of world, a
Hmm.
folk, very folk world, and orchestra starts with kind of almost like a would you call it a march? Almost a little bit of a dancey,
Hmm.
very very light,
Sure.
and then there's this explosion that comes. Sorry. And it creates this like energy bomb, honestly, that just keeps growing.
That is a great way to describe it. I mean, it really, this is a concerto that never fails to delight an audience. I mean, it's just, and what I love about the power of music is that no matter um, how well we know certain pieces, how familiar they are in the right hands, as yours are, but also with the absolutely endless power of music to draw us back in, we never get tired of it. I mean,
Never.
you cannot escape the seductiveness of this piece, right?
It is just, I mean, it really, I feel like the half hour just passes like that because
No,
it
it's
captures your attention, never drops it for a second. Even
absolutely.
in between movements, the way that he leads us through, it's
Well, it's a
amazing.
great work for us to bring our season to a close with. It's certainly absolutely a delight to welcome you back to the stage. And of course, Orchestra Lumos, as you know, is devoted to being the engine for music throughout Fairfield County, not just in one city. And to have you, I mean, I know that you were born in New York. I know that you studied in New York, but you are actually right now
In Connecticut,
at home in
at
Darien,
heart, in my
Connecticut.
heart, yeah.
So to have you so close and to have you as such a wonderful partner for this program, which also includes a terrific piece by Quinn Mason, a Joyous Trilogy, and of course the who doesn't love Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade, right?
Yes.
That's storytelling at its best.
What a great
Um,
program.
it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm so thrilled that we're going to be sharing the stage together. I can't wait to see everybody in the audience there with us. May 4th at 7:30 p.m. at the Palace Theater, and May 5th at 3 p.m. Um, it's going to be great. Chelsea, thank you so much for having given us the time today,
Thank
and
you.
I can't wait for the rehearsals and even more for the performances.
Me too. It's a joy.